Hello. You join me on a sunny Sunday afternoon. I've just put the village of Melchior behind me, who this weekend celebrated its 700th anniversary, which must have been quite fun, but I missed it. I'm so late that I even missed the early morning tidy up brigade. But anyway, you join me on another walk down from Melchior through the Nonnenfließ Valley back up to Eberswalde. I think the last time I was down here was in terrible pouring rain with a friend of mine, and the time before that was probably autumn, and I thought it would be a shame if I missed this last burst of summer to see what Nonnenfließ looks like then. So we're just getting started. This is the long, relatively uninteresting walk in through the woods. I'll probably check back in with you when we get to the Eisenerbrücke, something like that. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoy it too. Running into a surprising number of people. Certainly bikers. A couple just flew by, and I just literally almost walked over a woman sitting, taking a break, eating her sandwiches, tucked behind a pile of logs back there. So might actually be quite busy. Anyway, the trees are keeping the sun off, but the midges are having a field day. Anyway, let's crack on. It's also nice, by the way, simply to be able to walk. Some of you may have gathered that in July and August I attempted to walk the Wainwright Coast to Coast route across the UK, across England, and I got to within 30 miles or 48 kilometres of the end. My knees and my right foot simply wouldn't let me continue. It took me almost 4 weeks, probably 4 weeks, before I could walk fully unassisted again after I bailed on that walk. I'm not kidding, walking stick, pain relief, staying at home, sick leave, the whole bit. And now we're beginning of September, and now I'm trusting myself to do a 15-kilometer walk. So this is actually quite a big day. I've been out and I've been moving since, but this is actually low-key quite a big test. Anyway, feels all right so far. So we're now in Schönholz. Let's see how many times I get barked at by rabid dogs. This is an enormous mushroom. Here's my hand for scale. And yeah, there are the rabid dogs. It's magic mushroom land, look at this. That is absolutely mad. There's my foot. There's the mushrooms. Wow. Hello, dog. Yeah, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Rah, rah, rah. I wish these people here would train their dogs a bit better. Back to the subject in hand. Those were the biggest mushrooms I think I have ever seen. I mean, those flathead ones were like dinner plates, and that kind of bulb-headed one, it's the size of my hand. Maybe they're hallucinogenic and that's what the dogs have been eating. They think I'm some kind of monster or menace to society instead of just a hiker. Anyway, Schönholz, up your dog training game. And we're on the way now to the Eiserner Kreuz, Eiserner Brücke, which is where we'll turn up into the Nonnenfließ Valley and make our way to the Liesenkreuz crossing and then onwards home. It's a lovely sunny day. As you can see, it's pretty hard to get a good camera angle. It's hard to get a good camera angle on me anyway, but you know what I mean with the glare. I'm glad I came out. I almost didn't. I was very tempted just to have a really lazy weekend and just rot away indoors. But this is also turning out to be rather a nice escape from the rest of the housework that I should be doing. Do any of you do that? Flee for the great outdoors and leave the hoovering and washing up for another time? Comment below. Somewhere up there. Did you hear it? I think that's a woodpecker. With a lot of reverb. Here we are at what I've been calling the Eiserner Brücke. I was about to make a joke about why it's called that when it's actually made of stone, Eisen being iron. When look here, it's the Steinerne Brücke. Man hat was dazu gelernt, as they say in Germany. Anyway, this is the start of my walk up the Nonnenfließ. Here you can see the Nonnenfließ. It's a fairly dry, patchy brook, part of a glacial valley, and we're going to go this direction, up in the direction of Eberswalde. You can see here, perhaps, we're here. We're going to follow it up and around to the Liesenkreuz, over Geschirr, Spechthausen, up to the Zehnhammer Mühle, the zoo, and then this way home. Now, the Nonnenfließ, as I say, was formed by glacial movement, and it's full of very old trees and quite unstable ground. And there's a frog. Right there, do you see him? Look at that. I just disturbed you, didn't I? I'm sorry. Anyway, you have a good life. Hop along when you want. I'm not going to bother you. What I was trying to do was say up here, these trees do have a tendency to collapse on you. So I'll be taking care, but that explains the huge amount of deadfall that we're going to see here. Anyway, bye-bye, frog. This part of the Nonnenfließ tends to be quite dry and quite desolate, and as we head north the brook has more life, and so do the surrounding colours. And at some point we might see the beaver dams that have probably led to this. But I also think it makes for quite a nice dynamic in the walk. It looks like since I came through here last, somebody's been tidying up the path, making it traversable again. That's nice of them. You know, of all the mad lad things you can do here in the Nonnenfließ, trying to ride a bike has to be one of them. Brandenburg is basically a sand pit. It's not fun riding bicycles in the woods here. This bit here, this is pretty easy as things go, but I don't know why anyone would want to struggle with a bike through here when it's just so much nicer to walk. I mean, just look at that. Beautiful. Always get a little bit lost here, but I'm pretty sure I have to go this way. Yeah, it was more or less correct. I was completely off the path at the point when I said that. I was able to find it again, but now we're going a bit through the bushes. Everything's quite overgrown, so there won't be much filming, I think. But yeah, luckily all of these have been cut through, so we can carry on. There's always one though, so let's polish our butts and off we go. So welcome to Liesenkreuz. This is the shelter or Schutzhütte with this quite wonderful carving of an eagle at the top. And it's pretty spacious and comfortable. Let's go and have a look. And so lots of space if the weather really turns bad. But I'm sitting outside. Now, Liesenkreuz means Lisa or Liesel's cross. There isn't a cross here anymore, but there are a couple of myths, I suppose, or folk stories about the Liesenkreuz and how it got its name. One is that a young, love-troubled and jealous shepherd killed a young girl, either out of jealousy or he thought maybe she was cheating on him or whatever, we don't know. And he was made to erect a cross in her memory and to indicate his penance. Another theory is that here in the Nonnenfließ Valley, the Nonnenfließ means nun's brook or nun's stream. And there's a story that many, many years ago there was a convent here that was washed away by a flood, and only one nun, Lisa or Liesel, survived, and she erected a cross in thanks for her salvation. There's no great evidence for either of these theories, but in the records there is some evidence that talks about a murder case and the erecting of a penitential cross around about 1769. So whatever that tells you. But it's a lovely spot to take a break, to eat your sandwiches and drink your tea or your water or whatever else. Unfortunately, it's not officially a great place to camp because you're not allowed to camp in national parks outside of official camping areas, and this isn't one of them. This is just to get you out of a storm. But if it was quiet enough, it would be okay here, just in front. Set up your tent, or just unroll your sleeping bag in there, and if somebody finds you, just say that you were deceived by the impending weather report. Anyway, I'm going to finish my sandwiches and then we're going to head on in that direction, back up through Spechthausen and on to Eberswalde. Bye-bye, Liesenkreuz. Let's head home. This is maybe something to file under things you seldom see. Just crossed paths with a youngish blonde woman, short green summer dress, walking along this kind of path. Actually, much worse. Lots of rock stones, whatever. Barefoot, going carefully and meditatively, but barefoot nonetheless. And what struck me is not that she was doing that. I mean, I've done it myself. I was a barefoot runner for several years, and I have nothing against the idea. But we are pretty far away from a point where you could drop off your shoes or indeed return to them. So she's out for a pretty hardcore walk. Hats off. Anyway, this is what I'm walking through. And if you listen, you can hear flowing water for the first time really on this whole walk. Here, you can't see it because it's camouflaged in green. But we've finally got something like a brook flowing through here. And everything is starting to not lighten up really, but come to life a little bit more as a result. Anyway, hopefully that woman gets to wherever she's going and doesn't hurt herself. And indeed, hopefully I'll get to where I'm going without hurting myself. She's probably in better shape than I am. Anyway, I suppose the vaguely interesting coincidence about that barefoot encounter is that, as well as testing my knees, I'm also testing a new pair of shoes. I've got on a pair of Salomon XA Pro 3D trail runners, which are doing surprisingly well. They are obviously a lot lighter than my walking boots. I think each of these is about 300 grams. And the soles are pretty stiff, but they're also very comfortable to wear. And I'm not missing the ankle support so far. They're nice and breathable, light. from the weight, I'd hardly know I have them on. I haven't had any blister or hot spot trouble, so that's a win. I think in this kind of rehab period, trying to get my body back in order and my kit in better shape, I think these are a positive addition to the puzzle. So with that mixed metaphor, I'll carry on walking. I wonder if you can see just how clear the water is here. Okay, we're coming up onto the trailhead at the road just on the outskirts of Spechthausen, and with that I think we've covered everywhere that's worth taking you along for. Now what we have is just a bit of a trudge along roads and through nondescript woods back home. So I think this is where I'll say thank you for joining me. Thanks for keeping me company. I hope you enjoyed some of the views, and we'll see you next time. But until then, I may be some time. Sometimes you don't need to pay to see animals at the zoo. That's nice. Yeah. Quite an impressive looking goat there.